What is happening, everybody, and welcome back to the Modern Nest Realty Podcast. I'm your host, Darren Swain, the owner and broker in charge of Modern Nest Realty, located in downtown Concord, North Carolina, and I want to officially welcome you guys back to the podcast. Welcome to Season 2, Episode number 1. All right, guys, so today we're going to talk about a little bit of business planning stuff for all of my friends who are kind of like me, not always as organized as you should be, and kind of late to, what does a business plan look like and how do we, set goals and, achieve them and all that kind of stuff. For me, I'm super organized in my business, but I'm not necessarily as organized in my life for some weird reason. I will go to the grocery store without a shopping list, but I would never work with a client without a list, a procedure list or something like that. So it's kind of weird, but some people I know can operate their business completely without a business plan, just kind of like off the cuff of their chair, do whatever, and it just works for them. Other people, they really need like a firm foundation of I need to do this, and this, and then I will hit my goal. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about business planning basics and what that kind of looks like for 2024, guys. So I first want to start with a question, and I want to ask you guys, are we thriving in 2024, or are we just surviving? I want you to sit with that for a moment, and I want you to make a decision right here, right now. Are you going to thrive in 2024? Are you going to kick ass and take names in 2024? Or are you just trying to survive and keep things going? Okay. Either way, I want you to make a decision right now so that you know what is going to be expected of you this year. If you are in a thriving year, my friend, you are going to be doing any and everything to make it work and to keep it going. If you're in a surviving year, then I don't know what to tell you. A lot of us like a surviving year is hard. For me, this time last year, guys, I had emergency surgery in January of last year. I had 2 surgeries in January. And if it wasn't for my team really being able to hold me down and, lift me up physically, mentally, and spiritually almost, like, I know I wouldn't still be here today. So I want to talk to you guys about some things that can help you get your stuff together so that you know where you're going this year and you know what you're doing. Okay, as far as if you're in a surviving year, guys, we all go through things, we all go through stuff. We're in hard economic times right now, and the market, it just is what it is, and the only thing that you can do is just do your absolute best and work on your skill set. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today and set some goals for this year so that we know where we're going and we know what the heck we are doing. Okay, so I'm going to say we're going to have a thriving year in 2024, y'all. So let's just go down that path, right? If you've had surviving years in the past, then you know what that feels like. This is not the year that we're going to have, okay? So the number one thing that I want to start off with is making sure that everybody is staying plugged in, okay? I want you guys to always kind of think that your real estate skills are like an oven. If you turn the oven off, it's going to take a long time for it to heat back up. Right. So I want you guys, even if your production is lower or you're not dealing with as many clients or you're not as busy as you typically are, I want you guys to make sure that you're staying plugged in, you're staying in classes, you're staying working with your mentor, you're doing what you need to do in order to keep feeding your skill set, guys. Okay. Because that is what is going to that's what's really going to take you from a survivor to a thriver, is being able to nurture that skill set and knowing where to plug in. Okay. So the first thing I like to do every year in my office is review the code of ethics with my agents. We do that several times a year, but that's a great place to start, y'all, because there are a lot of agents that do not practice ethically and who violate, a lot of the articles of the code of ethics, and that is a big deal. I see it a lot in Facebook groups. People just, at random events and stuff can just say stuff that's crazy. Don't be that person, please, for the love of all things, holy and amazing. I want to make sure that you guys take your realtor code of ethics very seriously. Print it out, y'all. It's just a couple pages. It's nothing insane. All right. Have that in your binder, in your office or whatever, and review that, a couple times a year just to make sure that it stays in the front of your brain, guys. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is what are your procedures for your clients? And this is a part of our business planning, okay? Don't get lost with me. But what are your procedures in handling your clients? What does your intake procedure look like? How do you stay ready to run out to an appointment or run out to a showing, or, how are you doing the things that you're doing? How are we setting ourselves up for that? The number one thing for me in my office, and this is kind of a secret, but I'll let you in on it. For me, we do appointment 1 and appointment 2. We have a 2 appointment process, and I developed the 2 appointment process because I felt like, real estate is very complicated and a lot of it's not sexy, and a lot of agents just show up and throw up. And a lot doesn't stick. And a lot of times, only little pieces will actually stick with the client and resonate with them. So for me, appointment number 1 and appointment number 2, I tell my clients that from the beginning. After appointment number 2, we are like ready to go. So it kind of sets that tone for them that it's homework for them as well. There is homework after appointment number 1. There's usually homework after appointment number 2. After appointment number 2, we're ready to go. So that really works for me and my clients, and it helps make the process a little bit more bite-sized to where it's totally overwhelming and your client's going to miss very important details like what is earnest money, what is due diligence, how much are my closing costs, how much does an appraisal cost. So for me, I have appointment 1 and appointment 2 documentation in my office. It's very easy. I have electronic copies of these and I have paper copies. So if I'm meeting a new client, I can have that on hand, ready to go. And it's very easy for me to go through. And we're going to talk, our next thing is presentation packages. And we're going to talk about how we work with those and how we get those set up so that they look good and that it's everything like a total package like that the client needs. But back to appointment number 1 and 2 before I get lost. Sorry. But with appointment number 1, I like to keep it easy breezy. Definitely, working with real estate agents, meeting the client, giving them the agency disclosure, talking about that kind of stuff, that logistical stuff. And then after appointment number 1, typically they're going to get pre-approved, stuff like that, if they're not a cash buyer. With appointment number 2, we sit down or do it over the phone or Zoom, and we go through all of the requirements as far as what's required for monies, what is due diligence, earnest money, all that kind of good stuff. And I have documents that are electronic that I have in my phone, so even I can, send them a text message after the call or before the call and say, hey friend, this is what we're going to be going over today. If you want to have this available, it makes it a little bit easier. Now, in person, in these presentation packages, I think that's a really great way to leave something with the client that they can look at later once all of the excitement is gone of, looking at a house or, whatever it is. I'm a big fan of the presentation packages. I think that, and you don't have to spend a ton of money on them either, guys. You can go to Dollar Tree or anything, and I will take a presentation folder as a presentation package. Whatever your budget is, whatever you have to work with, just have something to leave in their hands and send them something electronically, guys. It makes a great reference for them to go back and look at when they, have that thought in the middle of the night, like, oh crap, what is the estimated survey cost? I do include in these packages as well, I like to include a vendor list and recommendations. For me, I only do that with people that I have used and I have personally paid for. Now, depending on the counties, obviously I haven't lived everywhere, so if there are different counties and stuff where my clients have used people and had good recommendations and stuff, I make it clear in this document, guys, because I'm obviously the broker in charge. I wrote these documents. I make it clear in these documents that the firm is not recommending these services or these vendors. These are simply just people that either I have used or that my clients have used in the past and they've had good experiences for them. We don't want to be responsible for the vendor list if we recommend a painter that comes out and does a horrible job. So don't put yourself on the hook as being the person that recommends everybody just because you can. Make sure that it's clear with your clients that these are other people's testimonials and stuff like that as well. But I definitely like to have a vendor list in there so that they have contact information already if they need little punch list stuff, if it's a listing or, stuff like that. If they're buying a home and they fall in love with something, they already have it right there in their hands, guys. You're already, so far ahead. So, next on the list, I have, do you have a mailing list? This is something that I kind of want to get back into. I've never been really good at the mailing list, y'all. It's like you always start it and then you fall off of it, and I'm that person, okay? So, if you have ever gotten one random piece of mail from me, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. I should send you so much more. But you get busy and it just gets hard to, keep it up. But that is something that I love that's very old school, the handwritten notes and stuff like that. I think it's cool, and I definitely want to implement that into my business. And that's a cheap thing, guys, that anybody can do, no matter what level of business that you're at. You can send people stuff. And if you're not sending out like a monthly mailer or postcards or stuff like that for your business, at bare minimum, y'all, you should be go to Target. Okay, this is a pro tip. Go to Target and buy a very cute pack of thank you notes. When you meet people in real life that are potential clients, send them a thank you note. Okay, Kris Jenner pretty much does this. So if it's good enough for Kris Jenner, it's good enough for you, honey. And that is a really good way to do it. And the other bare minimum is when you have a closing, baby, send them a little something in the mail, okay? I'm a big fan of the lottery scratch-off tickets, because the $2 tickets are super cheap and they're fun to scratch off. I don't never win anything, but sometimes a client will win $2, $5, or $10. I think, little stuff like that is great. Now you want to be cautious. Obviously if I know my client has a gambling problem, I'm not going to send them a lottery scratcher. But it doesn't have to be lottery scratchers. It can be anything, whatever you enjoy and your clients enjoy. I have worked with so many different companies that have sent out, all kinds of crazy stuff. But I remember getting, lottery tickets in the mail, magnets, all kinds of cool stuff. I used to have a company, I think it was a home inspection company, that would send flower seeds at springtime and stuff like that. Like just little cool, inexpensive, thinking of you style mailers and stuff like that. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about your business planning is to not sleep on your Google accessories in your Gmail. A lot of people don't really utilize their Google Docs, their Google Sheets, their Google Drive, all that kind of stuff that's outside of your Gmail, guys. I want you to start using that in your business for this year, okay? All of those documents that I have created for my firm, that is how I created them, is through Google, okay? So you can have it easily accessible on your phone to send out to, your clients, your team, whoever. I think that's a great resource, and it's always there. I live my life off of several Google Sheets, which are spreadsheets, right? And I have them on, I can get in them anytime on my phone, on my iPad, on my Mac, anywhere I'm at, I can always plug in. That makes things very easily, especially for me as a broker in charge, having to, process several people's commission checks and files and stuff. I could not imagine running a business without Google Sheets. I also make Google Sheets for my sellers when we get into multiple offer situations and stuff like that, just so that they know exactly when the offer comes in, what the price is, what all the details are, and it's easily able to, be communicated to them, and they can click and log in and check it out in real time. So don't sleep on your Google accessories, y'all. Canva is also another one. The Canva Pro is everything. Make sure that you guys are creating, custom little stuff for your business that you can do on social media, obviously for free. The next thing that I have is your electronic business card. Obviously, if you don't have an electronic business card, you are so behind. How many times have you been stopped out somewhere? People always think realtors, we just have business cards up our butt, and we don't, But everybody is always like, do you have a card? Do you have a card? Do you have a card? I'm that person who usually just doesn't have a card on me. Now, if I have my briefcase with me, if I have been to the office, if I'm working, yes. If I have just ran to the the gas station in my slippers, I probably don't have a business card, right? So having an electronic business card that you can send in a text message is totally crucial, y'all. I do not trust people who text me and they're like, hey, I'm a realtor, I'm checking out your listing, and it doesn't accompany, a name, firm information. So always have that electronic business card, y'all, and take, for the love of all things holy, take that electronic business card and use it as your email signature as well. If you don't have an email signature, it doesn't look like you've been in business very long. That can be a telltale sign that you are a newer agent or a less experienced agent. So use that electronic business card, y'all, and put it on everything. Put it everywhere. I want you to make sure that firm name, people are always seeing that. That is a requirement. It should be readily available, or at least one click away, I think is the absolute requirement for that. But we want our brand to be everywhere. We want people to know that we're in real estate for a reason, y'all. A secret agent is going to be a broke agent every day, okay? So the next thing that I want to mention to you guys is creating a content calendar. How many of you have these random content miracle ideas that pop into your brain and they go nowhere? They usually, sometimes they'll come out your mouth or make it to a piece of paper, but it's like they go nowhere. I am the most guilty of that. So create a content calendar, guys, and that way you know exactly what you want to share, what you want to research, and it makes it a lot easier so you're not searching for what it is you want to do, okay? And do things that are relevant to your community, guys. Don't just do things that are relevant to yourself. Do things that are relevant to your local community that buyers and sellers need to know out in your local little area of the world, okay? The next thing I want you to do is to get involved with your community and your local MLS, y'all. Realtor Care Day, if you're in the Charlotte Canopy MLS area, Realtor Care Day is coming up. I want to say it is April the 19th or the 20th. You'll have to double check me. I haven't got to do it in a couple years, and I'm really excited to be able to participate this year. But make sure that you are getting out there in your realtor community, that you're getting into your local community as well, and you are getting inspired, you're taking classes, you're doing things, and you're not just, I feel like in this day and age, I'm just going to be honest, a lot of people are struggling and suffering at home, and they're not plugged in, and that is why their business is kind of having a rough time, just to be completely clear with you. I think a lot of people are struggling because they can't stay plugged in, and their mindset has gotten so bad. I got a lot of messages, and I see a lot of stuff in Facebook groups and stuff, and I am no stranger to what real estate is really looking like out on the streets, y'all, okay? So I am a broker in charge, but I am also a practicing broker in charge. I still sell houses, I still write contracts, and I can tell you that we're in some crazy times. We are in some crazy times. I had a client write an offer on a property that was on the market for probably 84, 86 days. We wrote a great offer. We did not write a gangster offer, y'all, trying to ask for a ton of crazy stuff. We wrote a decent offer, great offer, and we got beat out by another random offer that came in the same day that I showed this property. Now, in 84 days on the market, you would think that, we wouldn't get into a multiple offer situation on day 84. But Lord knows that's just the way it works, And so we're in different times. We're definitely in different times. And it's kind of like, some things just don't always make sense. But I will tell you that 3 days later, this is a pro tip, why you always treat people with respect and grace, even if you lose out on a client's offer or whatever happens. Make sure you're always going the extra mile to be gracious, y'all. But 3 days after my client lost out on this property, the listing agent reached back out to me, and the buyer had cold feet, frigid feet, actually. And their loss is definitely my client's gain, So I know that as far as activity, today we're talking about business planning, so we're not going to get into, stats and nerdy stuff like that. But just talking about where we are in the market, I know days on market are super high and listings sit on the market a long time. Sellers grow anxious. Buyers are experiencing, they're still experiencing higher interest rates than where we were in the past. Interest rates have came down some, and we are so thankful for that. But we would hope that they still have a little bit of way to go, for keeping our fingers crossed for that. But I think that a lot of people are a lot more panicked and a lot more, razzled for the market that we're in currently, because we're not in that 2020, 2019, 2021, super hot, fast market right now. Now, at the time of this podcast, it's January 2024. So we're still early in first quarter, so we are hoping that we have a very strong year this year. I think we're going to see, we are in an election year, so that's a whole thing. But I think that if you put your nose down and you do the work and you are a resource, you will be able to have success this year without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, you have to stay plugged in, you have to do the right thing, and you have to realize that on January the 1st, y'all, everybody starts at zero. Okay, because most attorneys are closed. So everybody starts at zero on January 1. So we're all kind of in this together in a way, right? So I want to make sure that you guys are getting involved in your local community, that you're getting out there, that you're getting, you're getting out of your house, you're doing things that are fun. I just turned 30 years old in October of last year, and I told myself my 30s is going to be the time where I have fun and I smell the roses, and I mean that. So I definitely have to, be more accountable with self-care and, going to the park, doing hobbies and stuff like that. I, started my business at 22, and my business kind of took over a lot of, my life and stuff like that. So I definitely spent my 20s selling real estate and not, being a 20-year-old for the most part. Not saying I want to go back and be a 20-year-old, because I definitely don't, but I want to have more time and more fun just doing very simple, mindless stuff. I got a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to get through the rest of this before I touch on some of these questions, but one of the questions was, what is my biggest hobby? Obviously, horses. Horses in real estate is like my biggest hobby. I really have always wanted horses, and I'm just now in a place in my life to where I want to make that goal happen, and I can see that goal getting closer. And I love the farm life. I love farm real estate. I love being able to tour farms and, to just experience the culture, and what that kind of lifestyle is like. That's probably one of my biggest hobbies currently this day is, planning on buying horses or looking at horses or riding horses or looking at land and houses that would be suitable for horses. So that's kind of, what I'm currently obsessed with, I guess I would say. But I have a pro tip. If you've hung out with me this long, I'm going to give you a pro tip nugget that if you implement this into your business, you are going to see something happen in 2024. Are you ready? Okay. So my disclaimer with this is I want you to speak with your broker in charge. Now, I am the broker in charge of Modern Nest Realty, and I have spoke with my agents in my office about this, and this is something that I'm actually going to do myself. So if I do it and you do it, friends, we're going to do it together. Get excited. Holler if you're with me, y'all, and you've made it this far, because you're going to get some good stuff here. So I have decided that, and this is something that y'all can do too, to create a Modern Nest Realty benefits package that can be incorporated in small businesses' hiring packages. It could be incorporated in larger businesses as well, larger, corporations and stuff. The sky is the limit for sure. But I want to create a benefits package designed for small businesses to offer my company's services here in the local community. So if you're a small business owner and you're not in the real estate space and you're like, we want a free benefit to add to our company and to our employees, reach out to me, because I will have something for you by the end or the middle of February, actually. But if you're a member of a firm, obviously, that's not Modern Nest Realty, I want you to reach out to your broker in charge and have a conversation about what that looks like and how you can, what kind of, stuff you're allowed to put in there. Because if I'm not your broker in charge, I am not going to have that conversation with you, okay? That is something that I'm going to send you to your people to do. Today is just giving you the inspiration. But have that conversation with the broker in charge, because they have to approve all your marketing, right? If you're working ethically and you're not just, on an island by yourself doing what you want to do. So have a conversation with your BIC and ask them what you can do to put together a benefits package to have that included. Now, the idea for the benefits package is to create a package for a small business. Let's just say it's a mom and pop pizza place, right? So the mom and pop pizza place, you're going to create a little PDF package that goes over your business, what kind of services you offer. If you want to offer any sort of incentive, I do not use the D word, the discount. There's no such thing as a discount. Okay, there's no such thing. If you are saying there's a discount, you're implying that there is a standard price fixed rate, and that is a lie, baby. Do not get caught in 2024 out here lying to these people, because they will hang you upside down at the courthouse, right? I'm just kidding, it's a joke, y'all. But make sure that you're doing the right thing, okay? But if you offer any sort of incentive, whether that be X amount towards their closing costs or towards their home inspection or whatever, you can partner with other companies, whether it be your home inspector or whomever, your favorite lender, your favorite title company, whatever you got, guys, and you can pretty much create a benefits package. Right? This benefits package goes to the business owner, whether they're small business or big corporation, and it's a free asset for them, because now all of their employees that come in, that get hired, that are either relocating or already live in the area, now they already have a trusted real estate professional that they know who they are, what they do, what they specialize in. You have to tell people, I do residential, commercial, and leasing. That's what we do at Modern Nest Realty. But put everything in there that you offer. If you offer any sort of incentive towards their transaction or whatever, you can definitely do that. Speak with your broker in charge about that and get more clarification on what that needs to look like. But I think that is a great idea. Now, that is an idea that I'm giving y'all, that I'm doing myself. So let me try it, and you try it with me, and let's talk about our results. Guys, if it gets one, it will pay for itself, right? But this is something that I attempted to do several years ago, but it never really panned out that well, and I kind of forgot about it. And then in a office meeting with my team, it kind of came out in an aha moment. I was like, dang, I tried to do that 5-6 years ago, and it didn't work out for me, because I pitched a really big company. But I think that it's a great opportunity to help out small businesses, excuse me, that need help, who have employees, who need help finding affordable housing, finding help with renting or selling, or whatever your services are. You should do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you for sticking through to the very end. I hope the tip really helps you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you guys did this tip. I also have a couple of questions that I'm going to run through right quick. Somebody asked me if I made a vision board in 2024. Heck yes, I made a vision board in 2024. I have several vision boards. Which one are we talking about? Okay, so I love a vision board. I think it's great to see your ideas and your dreams and stuff right there in front of you. Dollar Tree has the little 3-fold, y'all. So run on out and get you a couple. Yes, I have a vision board for myself, my business. I have a vision board for my wedding this year. I'm going to have another vision board for my seating chart done very soon. I'm a huge fan of a vision board. I can tell y'all a little bit about what's on my vision board, but I don't know if I can show it to you. I don't know how that works, because some stuff on there, is kind of personal. But I definitely have horses and land and some business stuff and some wedding stuff and all different kinds of stuff on my vision board. So let me know in the comments if you got a vision board. If you want to show me a picture of your vision board, that's fine. I'm just going to keep mine to myself. Somebody else said, what are you listening to? I love the National Association of Realtor podcast. I listen to that all the time. I listen to a lot of podcasts just because I spend a lot of time in the car driving all over God's creation to show property. So I'm a huge fan of that. Y'all, I have in a couple of weeks, I will have been selling real estate for almost 8 years. And I can honestly tell you, every single week in the last 8 years, I have listened to at least one podcast. or at least one real estate educational something, whether it be Spotify, YouTube, or an educational class or some sort of educational resource. Just stay plugged in, guys. Stay plugged in so that you don't, get rusty and crusty out here. Okay? So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I look forward to being here with y'all this year. I know we're going to kill it this year. Give me some comments. Give me some love. The mailbox is open at modernnestrealty@gmail.com. So if you want to send me any questions or any topics, we're always here, guys. Have a great day.